Have you ever walked into a restaurant in an English-speaking country and just felt that little moment of panic? You are so not alone. But look, from getting a table all the way to paying the bill, knowing just what to say can turn all that stress into a really, really enjoyable experience. So, let's get started. I promise by the end of this, you're gonna feel like a total restaurant pro. Yeah, that feeling when the server is walking over to your table and your heart starts beating just a little bit faster. It is such a common feeling for English learners. You know, that moment of trying to translate everything in your head, worrying you're going to say the wrong thing. It's stressful. But honestly, it doesn't have to be. So our goal here is to completely replace that anxiety with confidence. We are going to walk through the entire dining experience, step by step, giving you the exact phrases you need. By the time we're done, you'll be ready for pretty much anything. All right, first things first, you got to get a place to sit. This is your very first interaction, so let's make it a super smooth one. Knowing the right words right at the start sets a great tone for the whole meal. Basically, you've got two main options. You can either plan ahead and book a table, which is always a good idea for popular spots, especially on a weekend, or you can just walk in and try your luck. And don't worry, we've got the language for both. So let's look at the key phrases you need. If you have a reservation, the magic words are under the name. You'd say something like, "Hello, I have a reservation for 2 under the name Smith." It's simple, it's clear, and it's super effective. Now, if you're just walking in, a polite question like, "Hi, do you have any tables free for 2?" works beautifully. Or even just, "A table for 2, please." Easy. Okay, so you're seated, you've got the menu in your hand. This is the main event. It can sometimes feel like a pop quiz, right? But with just a few key phrases, you are going to be in complete control. Seriously, don't ever be afraid to ask questions. Asking for the specials can help you find some amazing dishes that might not even be on the regular menu. Asking for a recommendation, "What do you recommend?" shows you trust the server's judgment. And hey, they know it's good. And if you're just curious about what's in something, just ask directly, "What's in the lasagna?" Or "Does this come with a side of vegetables?" Okay, here is a fantastic tip that will instantly make your English sound way more natural. Collocations. Now, it's just a fancy word for words that, they just love to hang out together. For example, we always say a side of fries. We would never say a piece of fries or a part of fries. It just sounds wrong. Learning these natural pairs is a total game changer for your fluency. Now check out these different levels of formality. This is all about matching the vibe of the restaurant. "May I have" is what you'd use in a really fancy upscale place. "I'd like" or "could I get" are your safe, all-purpose options that work pretty much anywhere. And then "I'll have" is more casual, perfect for a relaxed cafe with friends. The key is none of them are wrong. It's just about reading the room and picking the one that fits. The food is here. This is the best part. Now, beyond just eating it, knowing how to describe what you're tasting is awesome for conversation, and it's also really helpful if you want to give feedback to the restaurant. Okay, let's upgrade our food vocabulary way beyond just good or delicious. Is that lemon dressing tangy? Is the soup savory? Using words like bitter for your dark coffee, or spicy for a curry, or rich for a chocolate cake, it just paints a much more vivid picture for anyone you're talking to. And hey, don't forget about texture. It is just as important as taste. Is the ice cream creamy? Are the potato chips crunchy? Is that steak perfectly tender? Describing how the food feels in your mouth adds a whole other layer to your description. It's a pro move. Have you ever wondered about the difference between taste and flavor? Well, it turns out they're not actually the same thing. Taste is purely what your tongue detects, those 5 basic sensations. But flavor, flavor is the whole party. It's the taste plus the smell, the texture, everything all combined. So a dish has a complex flavor, and that flavor is built from all the different tastes. Cool, right? Get ready to hear this question, because you will. "How is everything?" is a standard part of good service in a lot of places. You don't need a long answer at all. A simple, "It's great, thank you," is perfect. And here's a pro tip. This is also the perfect time to ask for something you need, like more water or another napkin. Okay, let's talk about the tricky part. What happens when things aren't perfect? Maybe your food is cold or it's not what you ordered. It happens. Knowing how to handle this politely is a real superpower. You do not need to be aggressive to get a problem solved. This phrase right here is your template for success. "Excuse me" is the universal polite way to get someone's attention. And adding the word "but" just softens what you're about to say, making it sound way less like an accusation. It's respectful, but it's also perfectly clear. So let's break down the whole process.
This simple 3-step process is your best friend for any issue. Number 1, get their attention politely. Number 2, state the problem simply, without any blame. This isn't what I ordered. And 3, politely ask for a solution. Could I have the correct dish, please? This formula is clear, it's calm, and trust me, it works.
So here are the kinds of phrases you'll probably need. Notice how simple and direct they are. There's no long, dramatic story. You don't need to apologize for anything. Just a clear, calm statement of fact. Like, my food is cold, is all it takes to be both effective and polite. You've finished an amazing meal, and now it is time to settle up. This last step is usually pretty simple, but knowing just a couple of key phrases will make it completely seamless. So when you're ready to pay, you just need to get your server's attention and ask. A simple, could we have the bill, please, is perfect. Now, a little cultural note, in the United States, you'll almost always hear people say check instead of bill. So check, please, is super common there. But don't worry, they both mean the exact same thing. Now, what happens when you're with a group of friends? This can be the most awkward part of the meal if you don't have the right words. If you want everyone to pay for exactly what they ordered, you ask for separate checks. If you just want to divide the total cost equally among everyone, you ask to split the bill. Knowing the difference is a real friendship saver. And finally, let's talk about the tip or gratuity. This is a huge cultural point, so listen up. In countries like the United States, tipping is not just polite, it's expected because it makes up a huge part of the server's income. So 15 to 20% is pretty standard. But in many other countries, a service charge is already included in the price, so an extra tip isn't necessary. The best advice? When in doubt, just look around and see what others are doing, or do a quick search on your phone for the local custom. And there you have it, a complete toolkit for your next restaurant adventure. But remember, the real goal here isn't just about ordering food. It's about connecting with an experience, sharing a moment, and feeling a part of the world around you. So go out there and practice, because with this confidence, what's the most memorable meal you can imagine yourself having?